Hi, I am Nathan Christensen, and I'm excited to talk to you today about a topic that I think is especially relevant and important in our globalized market and world, and that is about fighting corruption with ethics and compliance to local and governmental laws. And most of my presentation is based on a magazine article found in Strategic Finance magazine called How Ethics and Compliance Fight Corruption. So to begin, it's important that we discuss some of the causes and the effects of corruption within the financial world. So for global companies, one of the largest risks that they face is corruption, and this is due to legal issues and lawsuits that can occur, as well as lost funds due to the corruption. And a lot of this corruption is generally related to bribery. And one of the biggest issues that we run into and why this corruption continues is because I'm sure we've all been in the situation where we've worked somewhere and we hear, this is how it's generally done here. This is how we do business. And so a lot of times when we're working with a place or company in a different country, it's easy to justify, oh, this is how these people from this country do business. And so we're going to do business this way so that we can retain their business and be competitive in the markets. Now, the issue with this kind of behavior is it continues to grow and to get worse. And so from every dollar that is spent on bribery, generally there's a return or cost of $6 to $9 later on because of that one bribe. And so it's really important that as we're doing accounting practices or as we are working with people from different countries or even within our own country, that when we hear those kind of phrases, business is done naturally here, that we question them and that we go and investigate further if that's really an ethical practice. Because just because everyone is doing something doesn't necessarily mean that it's always legal. So we can see in the United States, we're actually the largest enforcer of anti-corruption laws. And from this graph, we can see that there has been a large increase of monetary resolutions due to these laws. Now, one of the things that's interesting, though, is to understand whether this increase is due to increased corruption or increase in laws. And it's probably a mixture of both, just due to our growth of our economy. So some of the strategies that we can utilize to overcome corruption and poor accounting unethical principles is to first have a comprehensive and full compliance program. And what this means is that as a company, we are aware of the laws and legal obligations that we have to maintain tax laws and accounting principles, and that we create systems and structures within our company to maintain those laws. Now, some of the strategies that can be done is to have a separate auditing system within our own company. And a lot of places will do that to protect themselves and show that they are being compliant with the laws of each government that they are working. Now, one of the biggest issues really is to overcome the blindness of an organization. Now, what I mean by this is each company, a lot of times, when they see this kind of behavior, it's naturally easier for them to look the other way. So it's important that we overcome those tendencies and that we recognize when there's an unethical practice going on and we fight it. Other things that we can have is cooperation when there's an investigation and supporting whistleblowers and not punishing them fully within our organization, but praising them, utilizing their advice and what they recognize to get to the root of the issue. In closing, just wanted to close with a story that I had. Is I lived a couple years in Mozambique in Africa, had a couple situations where I was pulled over by police and asked for a bribe. Now we were taught rather than doing this to question the police, who is your supervisor, and start asking questions of, well, what would happen if they knew that you were giving a bribe? And we weren't always quite that bold, but essentially what happened is as soon as we questioned these officers, they essentially would back out, and they knew what they were doing was naturally wrong. And so when we have these ethical situations, it's important that we take a stand, that we obviously are considerate and careful about our career and our business, but that we also do ask those questions and don't just make assumptions. So thank you again for your time, and I'm glad I could talk about this important topic with you. Have a good day.